Hello, 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 everybody, and welcome into another WeVideo webinar. Thank you to all of those of you who are joining us today from wherever it is you are tuning in from. Welcome back. We haven't done a webinar in some time. Our last big event was the WeVideo PD Palooza, and I haven't seen many of you, or I haven't talked to many of you since then. So it's exciting to be back for a great fall season of WeVideo webinars. I am your host for this webinar. My name is Ryan Kochevar. I am one of WeVideo's directors of customer success, and I get to come to you today and share all about what's new in WeVideo and different ways that you can get your year started off on the right foot. Providing students with the opportunities to make media using our multimedia creation tools. You may have seen my face before. I lead a lot of our WeVideo webinars. This fall, you're going to see some new faces on our webinar channels, and that's to give you a new of a WeVideo with all of you. I will give you all that information as we wrap up our show today, or our episode today, or our webinar today, excuse me, and I'm going to give you a ton of resources, ways that you can utilize WeVideo in your classrooms as you head back to school. I know many of you have already returned to the classroom. Some of you might be going back next week or the following week. And this session is really designed to get you started with quick and easy activities that you can implement with your students right away. I'm also hoping to share new product updates that you may not have been aware of, or you may not have seen since you last opened our product. And I know sometimes when you go away for the summer, you put your tools on the shelf and you don't take them off until you get back into the classroom. So many of you might be stepping into WeVideo again for the first time since May or June. And this session is designed to help you acclimate to what might be a new user experience for you. So just want to do some housekeeping first before we get started with our presentation. This episode, this webinar has been pre-recorded for you. So I will be available in the chat as we're running this episode. So please ask questions about anything you see that I show you from this deck, or when we jump into the product. Please leave those questions in the chat, and I'll be sure to answer those to the best of my ability. Please interact with others. I always love hearing about ways that you all are using our product in the classroom. We have a ton of suggestions, but you also have a ton of amazing suggestions for your peers. And I think one of the really great community building activities that we can do through this in this virtual environment is talk to each other, share your work, share something that you feel passionate about, share what's worked for you as you head back to the classroom if you're utilizing video as part of your teaching toolkit. And then hopefully others will comment on that and share how they are using WeVideo as well. It's always more fun when we have folks interacting with each other and with me in the chat. So please do that. This session is going to be kind of a mix of back and forth between a live demo in the product. I'm going to go ahead and pull up the product as we get along here. But also I'll be sharing some slides from this deck. I have a ton of resources for you. I will throw those into the chat. I will also be putting them up as banners here on the screen. If you are consuming this on demand and you don't see a particular item that I put in the chat, just know I'll have a banner for that. You can get the URL or the resource where it's going to direct you right from the screen. So with that being said, after this episode has run live today, you can come back to StreamYard or YouTube or X, which is also where we're streaming, and get your hands on the on-demand content. So you can go back and look at something you might have missed. You can rewatch something. You can grab a link that you may have missed the first time, or share this with others that you think would benefit from learning about what's new in the platform to help acclimate yourself to getting back to school in your workflows and in your day-to-day classroom vibe. So again, we're going to share with you some new product updates, but also give you some what we think of as a back-to-school toolkit or some essentials to get you started with multimedia creation right away. So just really quick, our agenda, we're going to hit on 6 different areas today. We're going to talk about WeVideo multimedia creation. We've kind of tweaked the name, and we've sunsetted our classic space. That happened July 15th. But again, many of you may be entering or logging into the product for the first time since before that happened. So I just wanted to share with you what the update is for that feature and how you can access and migrate all of your projects and all of your work from Classic. We're going to talk about organizing your work. As you roll back into the classroom this fall. I'll also let you know about new episodes that are dropping. We have a new YouTube web show that's going to support a lot of these product-focused webinars. It's going to dive deeper into the editor and show you some really cool tips and tricks, things that we may not be able to do here. We've got a really great show that myself and my colleague Stu are running, and I'll show you how to access that, as well as upcoming engagement opportunities through webinars and other cool events that we've got going on over here at WeVideo. All right, let's get started. So the first bullet point in our agenda is about the sunsetting of our classic space. Now, we've messaged this a lot, and we've provided a ton of opportunities for you all to understand what was going away, how it might affect you, and what you can expect from the new version of our product. And so this is kind of just a reminder that we've sunset our classic space. So we used to have 2 entry points to our multimedia content creation editor, either through classic or through next gen. We've consolidated that into one space, which we are calling multimedia creation. We've taken a ton of feedback and have integrated that feedback directly and immediately into WeVideo. And this is just something that we feel like is going to be a better user experience for you. Of course, it may take some time to get familiar and comfortable with the new environment if you were a fervent classic user, but we really do feel like this new space is going to allow you to improve your workflows with WeVideo, to provide students more access to multimedia content creation, to provide you more access to multimedia content creation. And also it just allows us to make faster and better updates, to make sure that we're designing and releasing features that are going to improve your experience in the classroom when you are making videos or creating other pieces of multimedia content like podcasts or GIFs. So that's kind of why we made this change and the direction we're heading. And like I said, we've talked about this a number of times across a number of different channels, but just wanted to state that one more time here. The experience that you may be used to has changed in the product, and it's for good reason. And we hope that things like this webinar and other shows and other pieces of content that we're going to be putting out will help alleviate some of that change that you might be experiencing and help you understand the new workflows that you'll have access to in WeVideo. So I know the one big question we get a ton from our users is, what happens to my projects that are still in Classic? And we've provided a way for you to have access to all of your projects. Nothing has disappeared. Nothing has been deleted. If for some reason you're not finding something readily, or you don't know what happened to it, maybe you can always reach out to us. We are always available through our support channels. And so please, if you're trying this and you run into a snag, you can always reach out to us at support@wevideo.com. If you're not seeing projects or something has disappeared, just let us know. We're here to help you. But inside of WeVideo, your projects tab, you will have the ability to pull your projects from Classic. You won't be able to edit the work. You'll have to pull it over from the view that we're giving you to pull the projects. And I will show you this when we get into the live demo. But you will need to pull them over and into the new multimedia creation space before you can begin editing or exporting any of the content that existed in Classic. What's already been moved over, all of your exports from no matter where you exported from in your account will appear in your exports tab, and your media. Any media that you've uploaded to the account will be available in your uploads tab. And again, I will show you all of this when we get into the live drive portion of this. Again, that email, in case you need help, is support@wevideo.com. Reach out to us if you're struggling or have any questions about this migration process. Okay, next up, we're going to talk briefly about what's new. And you had to click in to get the playlist to come up. So what's new? Again, I just shared about migrating projects, but project sharing. So we've got a new folder organization that allows you to share project folders to a number of different users to have access to multiple different projects all in the same folder that can be shared and collaborated on. We've updated our screen capture tools in app. If you're a fan of our quick recorder extension, you will now have the same experience that you did in the screen recorder within the app. So I'll show you how to access that. That's great for creating highly engaging instructional content, for doing how-tos and tutorials, or creating instructional videos for your students. Utilizing those screen capture tools is a really, really great way to capture that content. Our playlists feature, which allows you to easily arrange and share turned in and finished videos, formerly known as Gallery and only available to admin roles. It's now available to both teachers and students. As long as your admin has permissioned it to be available to you as a teacher or a student, you'll have access to sequencing your videos and sharing one playlist of all the content that you want. And I'll show you how to access that as well. And then finally, our AI Assist, which is adding subtitles, reducing background noise. And those are the two things I will focus on. We're going to have other webinars coming up about our AI interactions feature, which is part of AI Assist. So I highly encourage you to sign up and register for those experiences to see that portion of our AI Assist toolkit. So let's get into the different features and who this is for, and what we used to have and what's new. And then I'll jump in and do a quick demo of where these features exist in the product. So project folder sharing, again, who's this for? It's for all users, admins, teachers, and students. What did we used to have? In Classic, we had projects and edits. In Next Gen or multimedia creation, we now have folders and projects. So you can organize your content in folders and permission them to be available to whomever you want to have the ability to collaborate on the projects within that folder. It's a really great way to, for you as a teacher, if you're not utilizing classes or assignments, to house all student projects in one place. And I'll show you the way that you can go about creating that organization inside of WeVideo. Next, the other features that we've released recently that I'll show you once we jump into the editor are the playlists, blur, and storyboard mode. So playlists, again, what did we used to have in Classic? We had the simplified editor and gallery, which was only available to the admins. And we've ported both of those over to multimedia creation as storyboard editor mode and as playlists. What's new? The blur feature, which is going to allow you to manually blur faces and personal identifiable information if that's something you need in order to export a video or post it externally to a social media site or to YouTube or something like that. So we've developed that feature as well. And these are all new things that we've released over the past 6 to 9 months that maybe you haven't been aware of. So those are a couple things that I will dive into and show you as well. So moving on, AI assist in multimedia creation is another thing that we were talking about earlier on that what's new slide, kind of giving you the overview of that. But what is it? What's AI assist? AI assist is our suite of AI tools that we're building in product to support your easy and quick access to do different things in the product, including reducing background noise and providing accessible subtitles. So first is our background noise reduction. Who's it for? It's a teacher and admin beta. So students don't yet have access to this reduced background noise. We are planning to eventually release it out of beta. We are collecting data on this feature currently, and we include all that data when we build the non-beta product feature, for lack of a better phrase, that we will release to all of our users in the product. Excuse me. So we did not have anything similar to this in the past. And the way this works is that it's going to automatically reduce background noise when narrating a clip that you that might have background noise in it, right? So you're narrating as I'm doing now, and you've got a ton of noise going on in the background. You'll be able to simply click a toggle button and it will automatically reduce that background noise. Now, I want you to attune to the fact that we did not say background noise removal because we're not technically able to remove all of the background noise from a piece of media, but we can reduce the volume of the rabble that you may hear in the background, of a busy classroom. And I know a huge use case of WeVideo is podcasting, and trying to find that quiet space for students to record can be difficult, especially in a time crunch when you're trying to get these projects finished. So we've built this feature to help with that. Right now, again, it's only available in beta for teachers, but soon we hope to release this for all of our users. And it will be a huge boon to that student toolkit to have this background noise reduction feature when we've rolled it out. Again, also we have the automatic subtitle generator burning in the subtitles to your MP4 exports. So who's it for? It's available for admins, teachers, and students. And what we used to have is a subtitle generator that we've had released for some times, the ability to timestamp and edit subtitles for exported videos. When you download that video, it would prompt you to then also download a .vtt file that along with the MP4 or MP3 if you're downloading a podcast. And you can then use that VTT file on sites like YouTube or Vimeo to add captions or to add subtitles to your video to provide more accessibility to your audience. And of course, adding subtitles to any piece of media content instantly provides more accessibility. It allows for a wider audience to consume your media. So it's a really important phase in the multimedia creation process because you want your content accessible to as many people as possible. And one way to do that is to provide subtitles. What's new is we've added the option to burn in your subtitles when you download the video. So you don't have a separate .vtt file. You'll have the captions immediately available to you in your MP4 file. When you play it through a QuickTime player or whatever video player you're using, you'll have the captions burned right into your video, or the subtitles burned right into your video. Okay, so let's go see all of what I've just been talking about. I've been talking for about 20 minutes, and we haven't even seen anything inside the product yet. So I want to go show you all of the different things that we covered in that first section to make sure you know where to find all of the cool new things that I know you're going to fall in love with when you get into the product and start using this with your students this year. So I'm going to go ahead and share my account. Pardon me. This is my multimedia creation account, and I been dropped on my dash when I've logged in. And this is what it's going to look like now for you. If you are an admin, you're going to have this drop-down panel here that's going to be able to get you to an admin. If you have interactivity as part of your account, you'll be able to select over to that as well. If you're a teacher, you won't have this drop-down menu. If you only have multimedia creation, and as a student, you'll only see multimedia creation up here. That is our next gen space, what we used to call our next gen space, excuse me. It's now called our multimedia creation space. And this is going to give you access to all of your content creation needs. We've got our classes tab still. We've got our assignment ideas, which I will cover in our back to school essentials section. But we've also got our templates that you may be familiar with from Classic. We've got projects. If you're an interactivity user, you'll have your interactive videos. And we also have your media uploads, your exports, and that new feature I was talking about, playlists. And I'll go through each of these individually for you, different parts of this webinar to kind of show you what these different tabs look like and what to expect. So first, I want to jump into projects because we're going to talk a lot about projects today. In terms of organizing and migrating all of your content from Classic. So if you haven't yet already gone into WeVideo, if you have a license available to you now, you can follow along with this. It makes the process of understanding where these things live way easier if you're following along in real time. So as I'm talking, as you're watching, you can go ahead and log in and walk with me, so to speak. So projects, how do I transfer my Classic projects? Well, until you've migrated all of your Classic projects into the multimedia creation space, you will see this banner that lets you know that you can transfer your projects from Classic. So by clicking this button, it's going to bring me a drop down of all of my different projects that I have in Classic still. I can search for projects or folders if you've organized it like that in Classic. And then all I have to do is simply click on it. Click on this checkbox and I can select transfer. I can select one project to transfer or I can select multiple. And again, until you've transferred all of them, you can't edit them, right? So the first thing you're going to need to do is transfer. You're going to get a toast that says 2 projects are being transferred, and then you're going to get a notification that lets you know that those projects have been transferred. And if I go ahead and refresh, we should see in my project window organized by, hold on, let's go to the sort. Let's do A to Z sort. And then we can see, we'll scroll down to the gratitude video and we can see that it's been transferred over right here, the gratitude outro. This was from Classic and it was done in 2022. Now that organization that I just showed you, how to filter those projects, it's going to default to most recently modified projects. If you have projects in Classic that you haven't modified for a while, they're not going to appear at the top of your projects tab here. You're going to need to filter for those or search for it, right? If you know it's been a long time since you've modified it, you can always search by least recently modified. So you can see this came up, right? That project I transferred, the gratitude outro, wasn't something I haven't modified since 2022. So that popped up for me when I changed the filter view. And so I would encourage you to do that. Another easy way, the way I found it quickly, was to organize A to Z, right? So doing that chronological organization will help you find your projects faster. So that's how to bring projects over from Classic. Again, all of your work is still here. I promise. If you don't see something, please reach out to us again to make sure that you are understanding how to get all of your stuff. Okay. So that's projects, and we're going to stay in projects because the next feature that you're going to want to take advantage of is organizing your folders. So we have a new, something that's new to next gen, or excuse me, multimedia creation. I'm still getting the language in my own brain to stick. But in multimedia creation, something that we added in the past 6 months is the ability to collaborate on folders. So I can create a folder. I'm going to call this a demo folder. And I'm going to add some projects to my demo folder by hovering over the thumbnail and selecting the checkboxes. I'll move a couple of these combined projects. And I'm going to go ahead and up here, select move. I can also combine these projects if I wanted to into one timeline. Don't need to do that, but I'm going to move them into my demo folder. I'm going to go ahead and move in here. And when I open my demo folder, my projects are going to be available here. So what I can now do is select the project, select the folder. Let me go out here, back to projects, to my folder. And I'm going to select this 3-dot menu here, and I'm going to share it. Now, this is a cool feature that's going to allow anybody who I'm collaborating with, teachers or students, to access all of the projects that are in that demo folder. So a way that you might have previously interacted with something like this was through shared projects or collaborative projects in Classic, where you have a bunch of media that you've shared, or you have a bunch of students that you want working on a similar project, right? And they have individual edits that are part of a shared project, or you have a collaborative project. You can sort of mimic that with this flow by creating individual projects for individual students inside of the folder, and then adding them as a collaborator to this folder so that they have access to not only their edits, but the edits of their peers as well. If that's a way you want to encourage collaboration or peer-to-peer sharing or peer-to-peer knowledge distribution, a great way to do that is to allow students to see and access other people's work, with the caveat being, please make sure you set the rules that like nobody's allowed to edit other people's work without their permission, et cetera, right? Setting up those kind of foundational classroom rules for how you're interacting with other people's content is really important if you're going to go down this road of allowing access to a shared folder. What's cool about this is then you can populate one project with media that you want them to have access to in their media bin, and then share that. You can copy that project over and over again for as many different projects and timelines that you need to complete whatever group project you're working on. So I'm going to search for my email. I think I have members in this group named success. Success. How about DS? I thought we had somebody in here by the name of DS. How about test group? There it is. Okay, so I've got a number of groups that I've created, and as a teacher, you're going to be able to create groups that you can put members of your instance that you have access to in. So if your admin gives you the permissions to be able to add students from the instance into a group, a really fast way to get a group of students to collaborate in one folder is to create groups and then assign that group and share that folder with a group. So here, if this was my my sample group, my demo group, I would be able to then click that, and this group, and anybody who's part of this group will be able to see and have access to all of the work in my folder. So if I go in here and open up my combined projects, this timeline will be accessible, as well as all of the media that's populated in the project bin. And this is shared to anybody who is shared on that project folder. So what I can do here then, if I have individual students, I can say Beth's timeline, right? And rename them according to how I want them named for each student. I could specifically add Beth as a collaborator to this, but she's already added because she's part of that group. Beth was part of that group that I added as the share. She's already a collaborator on this project, which is really cool. Makes the process of setting up shared experiences outside of classes really seamless and easy. So go ahead and close that. And then whatever I've added to my project bin, the students will have access to that are shared to these different projects. So if I wanted to add more media, I could go into this media bin through my uploads folder and go into my content here that I have, and then add maybe this WeVideo book creator webinar that we did. I'll add this to my project bin by right-clicking it and selecting share to project. The media was added to your current project. And then all I would have to do is if I set one individual project up, populated the media bin with all the media I wanted students to have access to, in this project bin. And as you'll see, the new webinar was added here. I can hit close and it will save everything. And then I can just make a copy of this project. And it's just going to make a copy, and I'm going to maybe make a bunch of copies over and over again, and rename them according to who I want to have access to this project. Maybe if it's a number of students you want editing individually, you can rename them. This is Tim's timeline, and so on and so forth. So it's a really great way to organize shared projects, to give access to collaborative experiences if you're utilizing the projects tab to set up group projects. Again, populating the media bin, copying the projects, renaming them according to which students you want to have access to which project. Okay, we're going to stay in this idea of organizing as we head over to our Uploads tab. Now, our Uploads tab is anything that you have shared across Classic or multimedia creation will appear here. We used to have a feature that allowed you to share media with other folks in your organization through folders or through the sharing of individual pieces of media. That feature is not available yet, but I do know that that is something that our product team has been seeing a lot of feedback about. And so they are actively working on solutions on how we can share media across different members, just specific pieces of media, right? Not projects or anything like that, but media that you need to share across a group of students. We're working on some direct solutions for that through the sharing of media through this Uploads tab. But just so you know, you can also organize your uploads into folders to create more of a structure around your media and just making sure your life is cleaned up in a way that's going to help you quickly and easily access all of the content you have in WeVideo. Same goes for exports. You can create folders of exports. I've just done a bad job of keeping up with creating folders, so I don't have any in here. You'll be able to see your exports. So these are videos that you have made and exported, and then you'll be able to see all exports, and all exports are projects that you are a collaborator on. Okay. And you can sort them by videos, audios, or GIFs. These are, as a teacher or admin, you're going to see any project that you're added as a collaborator on, and any project, depending on your role permissions of students in your group or people in your instance, if you're an admin, for example. So as a teacher, when you're utilizing classes and assignments, or you're utilizing projects, anything that's exported by your students or folks that are kind of nested underneath you in the license, you'll be able to see in this All Exports tab. So you can keep track of what's being exported, in addition to being able to monitor progress through adding yourself as a collaborator, sharing folders, sharing or utilizing assignments. So just wanted to point that out, that you have these exports. And as a segue into our next new release, which was playlists, we do have the ability to create sequenced playlists of exported video content. So if I want to make a playlist, I'm going to go ahead and select the videos that I want to add. I'm just going to do this randomly just to show you the process. Whoops. Go back, circus wagon. Actually, what I can do, I'll head to the playlist tab, and I'm going to select create a playlist first. So I'm going to click new playlist. I'm going to go ahead and go over, and then once I've gotten into the create a playlist flow, it'll prompt me to select the video content that I want to add to this playlist. I can search for exports. Again, I can filter by videos, audio, and GIFs. And then I'm going to hit create playlist. And this is, again, a really cool way to share content, to provide virtual gallery walks, or other ways of really highlighting student media and sharing, having peer-to-peer feedback sessions, sharing content across a classroom, multiple classrooms, across a school, across a district. It's a really cool way to do that. And we've given teachers and students the ability to make their own playlists as well. As long as your admin permissions it correctly, you can then share a public link to the playlist, so somebody that doesn't have a license of WeVideo can watch your content. and you just copy and share this link here. You can always keep them private, and this would be only visible to you or to specific folks that you are sharing it with within your instance. You can always add content to a playlist, and you can always remove things from a playlist, and you can also access the view page here, which will give you the ability to share this piece of media, add it to another playlist, download it directly, change or add details. If you have access to interactivity, you can add interactions to it. Again, if you're curious about what that is, please, I'll give you information about how to join our future interactivity webinars to get grounded in what those cool new features are. Last thing you can do here is you can add subtitles. So this is another feature I was talking about as part of our AI Assist toolkit. So from this view page, which you can access from an exported video, you can go ahead and click subtitles, and it's going to auto generate your subtitles. So depending on how long the video is, this video is 51 minutes long, so it might take a little bit of time to export this. But once it's done, you're going to be able to download this video. And when you download it, once it's got subtitles, it's going to give you the option to download the MP4 and a .vtt file separately, or it's going to give you the option to download it with burn-in subtitles, which means you're going to get one MP4 and it's going to have your subtitles built right into it, versus the other method, which is downloading the video and the subtitle file separately. So I'm going to go ahead and click done. And let's see if I can, let's see, this video is 4 seconds long. I'm going to go to the view page here. And just to show you how to get to this through the other entry point, I'm going to click done. I'm going to go back to exports. I'm going to go to my TA video. I'm going to go ahead and select open. And that pops up to that same view you saw that I accessed through the playlist portal. So again, here, same options. I'm going to click subtitles and auto generate these subtitles to see how long this takes. Probably going to go a little bit quicker because this is only a few second video here. And so while that's generating, we'll come back to this to show you the download features. We're going to go ahead and click done, and I'll show you inside of an edit what a couple of the other features looked like, including the background noise reduction tool as well. So I'm going to go ahead and view, excuse me. I'm going to go ahead and edit this project. And I have a track. Oh, just let me know my subtitles are ready for that video. So we'll go back and see that in a second. So a couple things. We've got 2 features that we talked about. One that was part of our AI Assist toolkit, which is reduce background noise. If I go ahead and double click this video and I go to audio, I'm going to have a toggle now that says reduce noise. Now, Kathy and I, when we did this webinar, we had empty spaces. There was not a lot of background noise. But if this was a narration that you were doing, a piece of media that you had captured in a noisy classroom, I double click that clip, headed to the audio tab, and I could simply select reduce background noise. It's going to detect background noises in your clip, and it's going to reduce the volume. You can go back to your timeline and preview that and see how much of that background noise was reduced by clicking this toggle. So I wanted to let you know that this is something available to you now as a teacher or an admin role, that you can go ahead and toggle that on. Again, this video is very long. It's going to take a while to kind of scan the background noise and reduce it, but that is a really cool tool for your classroom. And then lastly, we have the blur effect. So the blur effect allows you to blur manually. Right now, we are, of course, investigating ways of making this more automated. But for now, we have the ability to create a blur shape and blur over faces in your video. And you can utilize keyframes along the video to move the blur manually. So if you have people's faces that are moving across the screen and you need to blur it, you can go frame by frame and keyframe the blur shape to move to different parts of the video at that specific timestamp. So if I wanted to add a keyframe here. I want to capture the keyframe here, right? And that's going to let me know that at this moment, I'm going to move my shape, right, at 17 seconds to, let's zoom ahead here. You probably heard that sound earlier. We were video and then with educators here, and that's 1:03. So I'm going to actually capture the keyframe here, and I'm going to move the shape down. Okay, so when I'm playing the video along, as I'm adding those blurs, you can keyframe it to move the shape where you need it to move. Now, this could take a long time depending on how much blur you need to provide or what you need to blur out and how many times you have to use the keyframes, but it is there. It is available to you to use in your work. And so it's a really cool feature we released earlier this year that, surprisingly folks are not aware that it exists. And I got to that blur feature again by double clicking my clip off my timeline, and you'll now see a new tab here for the blur effect. Okay, I'm done here. I'm going to close. The last thing I wanted to show you was from the create menu. We now have access to what we used to call the simplified editor, which is now the storyboard editor. And that is a simplified version that's designed for our youngest creators. So I'm going to go ahead and dismiss this. Whoops. I'm going to dismiss that. Sorry about that. I clicked the wrong button. Okay, getting back into the simplified editor. Right, so same kind of drag and drop functionality, but it's more of a linear add than a pancake or stack of timeline interface, so that our youngest learners can easily add images or videos or music and sound effects. And it kind of just layers it linearly, so it sort of makes the creation process a little bit simpler and a little bit easier to approach for young students. Now, those of you who are new to the multimedia creation space, you might see a white background when you first drop into the editor. Just know that you can change that by selecting the hamburger menu here when you're inside the editor and going to theme and selecting dark mode. So I can change this back to light mode. I don't like light mode. It's a personal preference. You might like it, great. If you don't, you can always change the theme back to dark. It's just easier for my eyes. Some folks enjoy the lighter background, but for me, it's just a little bit easier to edit and create in dark mode. So that is our simplified editor. And that kind of takes you through all the different features of the product that we've released in the last few months. Let's really quickly head back and check in on our captions. I'm going to go ahead and close this. Go ahead over to my exports, my TA video, and I've now got my subtitles that are timestamped. I said one thing in this video, it still generated a timestamp. I can edit this if I want, right? I can edit for punctuation. I can edit for all my ums and uhs out, change text, right? Fix misspellings and things like that it might not have caught automatically. And then when I go to download this, I can download it separate video and subtitles, or I can combine the video and subtitles and burn in my subtitles that way. So just a whole bunch of new and fun features accessible to you as you head back into the classroom. Let's take the last 15 minutes of our session today to kind of cover some of those activities that you might want to get your hands on when you head back into the classroom. So I'm going to go ahead and dive back into my deck, and let's talk quickly about our WeVideo Back to School Toolkit. So we have a number of different ways to engage you in understanding how to use WeVideo with your students. And one of those ways is our pre-made assignment library, which is a library of ready-made activities, easily accessible and easy to assign to students to get you and your class creating right away. We've got a number of different certification courses that are self-paced. Learn the product as you go. You can earn badges. and become WeVideo certified. And this will help teach you about the nuts and bolts of the editor while also giving you and your students, because we do have student level certifications, the opportunity to learn the product at your own pace. When we have monthly creative challenges, we have one right now running in August. It's almost finished. August 31st, this Friday, actually tomorrow, would be the last day for you to complete and submit for August. We have one every month. Our September one is going to launch on Tuesday. And that is surrounded by the student level certification course level 1. And there's a ton of activities that you can do that are community builders, that are great back to school activities that will help you, one, engage in a fun creative challenge, 2, learn how to create and edit videos, and 3, submit the content for a chance to win some sweet swag from WeVideo. We do award one classroom winner a month and send you some sweet swag and shout you out on social media. So please, 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 I'll send you information on those creative challenges as we wrap up here. But it's a great way to engage your students in a fun activity as you roll back into the classroom. The other parts of our back to school toolkit, again, utilizing those AI assist features. Our interactive video tools are a great complement to this. Please join our next webinar to learn more about that. We have our WeVideo Academy, and of course, our professional development. If you are interested in booking a more detailed workshop where we can get into the creation process and the more nuts and bolts about WeVideo, please either talk with your administrators about booking with us. Some of you and some of your accounts may have customer success, managers associated with your accounts, and that would get you access to our PD menu as well. If you are interested to learn more about PD, you can always reach out to us at success@wevideo.com, and we will send you information about how to book those workshops with us. All right, so let's get into the specifics, right? We have this amazing library of assignment ideas, and I'm going to kind of show you some of these, and then we're going to get into the product and really quickly demonstrate how easy it is to assign this to a class of students. But we've got about 8 assignments that we feel like are essential assignments to get you rolling in the back to school timeframe, getting started, building community with WeVideo, get to know your students, get students to know each other, get students to know you. All through quick and easy assignments that can be done in one class period, in one day. Maybe some of these might take a couple days, but at the most you're getting maybe a couple hours to complete these assignments with your students to create that really fun and engaging back to school activity that takes the traditional hello, how are you, hello, my name is activities and just enhances them for the kids, makes it more engaging. So we have activities like design your name, where your students are going to be expressing their personality through designing motion graphics for their name, creating a GIF about their personality, sharing their summers, discussing where they're from, quick introduce yourself activity where they're sharing some fun facts about themselves, creating community agreements, or doing a summer stories podcast, sharing about what they did over the summer in podcast form. The cool thing we've done with these build community with WeVideo activities is we've provided different ways of building the media. We've got GIF projects like design your name and my personality GIF. We've got video projects like introduce yourself and where I'm from. We've got podcasting projects like Summer Stories Podcast, and even the community agreements can be in podcast form. So really we're running the gamut here of different multimedia content creation activities for you and your students to have fun with, right? Easy, quick, not a lot of prep, not a lot of lesson planning time. We've done a lot of that for you, provided you the resources to roll this out. Just providing students that fun activity as they get back into your classroom is going to pay dividends down the road. I truly believe that. So this is what we suggest you do with these, right? Is check out our student level 1 course. We have our September Creative Challenge, which is going to be a selection of these activities that you can engage with your students through this certification program. That certified course will have access to Academy tutorial videos to show students how to edit and create, and it will be sort of packaged around completing one of these activities. Introduce yourself is a great one to do, but so is share your summer. The quick tip show I was mentioning at the top is going to go deeper into each of these topics, so I'll send you links for that. Make sure you go watch those and learn how to complete these activities. We've got a new show coming out Tuesday. That's all about the motion graphics. We just did one last week. It's about Share Your Summer. So these activities that we feel like are really great essentials for you to take into your classroom right away, we're going to dive deeper into those on our YouTube show. But before you head off and do that, let's get into the product and see just how easy it is to assign some of these WeVideo assignment ideas. So again, I'm going to dive back into my account on my home dash. The way you access these is through assignment ideas. You're going to want to create a class first to make sure you've rostered your students. If you have Google Classroom, we have an integration with Google Classroom. You can pull all of your students from your Google Classroom roster right into WeVideo to be able to start assigning multimedia projects quickly and easily for your students. So as you see, I have a number of different classes here that I'll be assigning projects to. So the way you access those projects is from our assignment ideas library. You can search what we've got, search by subject or grade level. You can also organize them again into list view or sort by A to Z. I kind of like doing that so I can kind of find what I need quickly. I want to go find the introduce yourself assignment, and I know that's going to be in I. So here it is. Here's introduce yourself, one of the quick and easy assignments. It says 1 or 2 days, but honestly, like 1 day, meaning like 1 class period or 1 day's worth of instruction. I'm going to go ahead and select preview. And this is what you're going to get with each of these assignment ideas. You've got a sample video. You've got student instructions. We've even provided for some of these a slide deck that you can utilize to teach this with your students. It's always going to prompt you to make a copy. So I'm going to go ahead and make a copy. And this is a supplementary resource to share with you what the project timeline could look like, even for a simple activity like this. This is 1 day activity. Here's a project timeline. Here's the description, which gives you the overview again. Here's some examples of what the projects could look like. Here's a rubric if you're going to be assessing this. Here are some brainstorming ideas that you might include in your video, right? Like how are you going to create this? So just a ton of resources that you can have for your toolkit to be able to facilitate this project quickly and easily if you need that support, right? So the cool thing is too, it's all hyperlinked within our rich text editor. If you go back, it'll drop you right back here. We have notes for you. They're all connected to ISTE standards. We've got tips again with resources that you can utilize to facilitate this project. We've also provided pre-selected media that you might want to use, or a pre-populated timeline that students can start creating from right away. So if we look at what that looks like, this activity has a sample timeline of what a right? Like this is the introduce yourself sort of template that students can then just drag and replace content into, something that'll help them kind of get going quickly to make sure that the activity is ready to go for them if they need that kind of support. So go ahead and exit the preview. All I need to do now to assign this is to save this to my class as a draft. I'll save it to my digital storytelling class. Boom, saved it. I'm going to go ahead and head back over to that class and see my assignment in here, right here. Introduce yourself. It's still in draft form because we've given you the ability to edit this to however you see fit. You can change the sample. You can sample video that's attached to it. You can change the description. You can add more resources that will go out to your students. You can change the project type. You can make it a team assignment. You can change the cover photo if you want, right? We're giving you, putting customization, the power of customization into your hands for these assignments. You can also remove the starting blocks, which is the template and the media. If you want them to start from scratch, you don't want them to have access to any templates or any preloaded media, you can go ahead and remove all of those starting blocks from the assignment before you publish it to your students. So again, another way to just personalize, contextualize the assignment for you and your students. When you're ready to publish it, we have this assign button up here. I'm going to click got it. This is just like the first time you're assigning. It'll pop up and let you know what it is. Got it. I'm going to click assign. And now it's been assigned to my students. When the students go into their class, they'll have access to this assignment. They can create it and turn it in. And then you have all of their projects turned in all in one place, ready to share with the class about who your students are. Learn about them. They can learn about each other. It's a really cool, easy, fun way to get started in those first couple weeks back at school. And it just enhances those traditional back to school community building activities. So that's kind of how you access those. We've got, again, a ton of activities in there that we're suggesting you use. When we email you our follow-up from this webinar for attending this, I will share the slide deck that I used so you can see all of the different projects, all of the different activities that we're suggesting you get your hands on in order to create that really great classroom experience right away. And we've tried to make it as easy as possible for you. So as we wrap up, just a couple of other resources. Again, what I shared with you earlier is we have WeVideo Creative Challenges. You can get access to these by heading over to wevideo.com/creative challenges. And that's going to get you access to all of the different creative challenges we have available from the time we started releasing these, which was last January. Again, you participate in these, there will be a submission. There will be a submission link that you can take advantage of to submit a challenge or post it to social media with the hashtag WeVideoCreative. And you can have a chance to win prizes for you and your class. WeVideo swag. We choose a winner every month to celebrate as you start completing these challenges. Again, next month's challenge is going to be this month's challenge was the My Personality gift, which is also one of your back to school essential assignments. Next month is going to be kind of a pick and choose your own adventure to get those students level 1 certified around the Introduce Yourself assignment, around a couple of our other back to school assignments that we're sort of promoting right now as you head back into the classroom. So hashtag WeVideoCreative if you are sharing on social. There's a link to a Google form on that webpage, which is again WeVideo Creative Challenges, wevideo.com/creative-challenges. And you can get access to all of those. The WeVideo Certified Educator Program. In addition to the student certifications, we have WeVideo certifications for teachers and administrators. If you are a creator, if you want to become a certified educator, if you want to become a certified WeVideo trainer, we have 3 levels of courses that you can get access to through our certified educator program. Go ahead, wevideo.com/certifications for more information. Take a course, earn a badge, become WeVideo certified. And that, again, is also applicable to the students. There's a student level 1 course that we have that will teach students how to access classes and assignments in WeVideo, how to navigate the editor and create their first video, how to create a video aligned to the back to school activities from the Assignment Ideas Library, right? That's our September Creative Challenge. That's a great essential for going back to school, is having students do this course in conjunction with completing one of those assignments. And it removes the burden from you having to teach them the editor, right? Like this is a self-paced, a course designed to help students onboard to the product without a lot of involvement from you. And our teacher courses do the same thing. A lot of them enable you to self-pace your way through our product, right? And it gets you started using WeVideo early and using WeVideo often. So that's the goal. Use this as much as you can with your students to provide them opportunities to become content creators and to enhance your already existing lesson plans using video. For teachers and admins, we have a WeVideo Ambassador program. Once you've completed all of our courses, you can apply to become an ambassador. WeVideo.com/ambassadors. This is new for this year. Our application is open until September 30th. So please complete those courses, apply to become an ambassador, and join an already existing network of over 100 educators worldwide that love and use WeVideo on a daily basis. We hope to see those applications coming in from you as you start your journey with WeVideo. So as we wrap up in just the next minute, we're going to close out here. I've just got a couple more resources for you. If you head over to WeVideo's YouTube page, which you can access by going to youtube.com/@WeVideo, you're going to see we have a new quick tips show. Episodes get posted there every Tuesday. Please join me and Stu, excuse me, as we dive deep into anything and all things WeVideo. So that's going to be available every Tuesday on our WeVideo YouTube page, youtube.com/@WeVideo. We've also got Awakelet collections that we've put together. Excuse me. That you can access, that I'll share the link with you. And that's just a repository of all of our WeVideo content for you to consume at your own pace. Excuse me, just had a live on the air coughing fit that I did not want you to hear. So apologies for that. But that wraps up our session today. Thank you so much for being with us. Again, if you have any trouble at all and you need to contact us, you can, for technical issues, please go ahead and shoot a message to support@wevideo.com. For anything else, information about your account, how to get professional development scheduled, how to find out about interactivity events, please email us at success@wevideo.com. We've got a ton more webinars coming up. So if you head over to wevideo.com/webinars, you can view and sign up for more opportunities to hang out with us. And I love for you to come back. We'll be back in 2 weeks with another webinar. We hope to see you then. But until then, thank you so much for joining me today. I hope you learned something. I hope you take something with you back to your classroom and get started using multimedia content creation with your students right away. And happy creating, everybody. Hope to see some of your wonderful examples online. And until next time, be well, have a great start to your year, and we'll see you soon. Bye now.